Give me some of that long. Hard. Rock. What kind of show do you think this is? Geesh. Classic rock, hard rock, and heavy metal from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Plus stick around for Plug-In, where we support independent artists one song at a time. Take it like a man from a woman who knows music. It's time for RockGasms with Jenn Mitchell. Going back to 1984 with the song that was thrown into regular rotation by practically every radio station that sent it blaring through boomboxes around the world. Turn Up the Radio by Autograph indelibly left its mark in rock and roll history and not only put the band on the map, but it also put them front and center opening for Van Halen on their 1984 tour. Now this may not seem all that impressive to the average listener, so let's put this into some perspective here. When they were asked to be part of Van Halen's tour, they were not only unsigned at the time, but also had never played live at smaller venues, or at any venue for that matter. Essentially, they had a public trial by fire amidst crowds of 15,000 people. Soon after, they landed their own deal with RCA Records within the same year and proved to the world and themselves that their pen was mightier than the sword, a shotgun, and TNT combined. While they may have never trumped the success of Turn Up the Radio with their 5 follow-up albums, the last one being released in 2003, Autograph is back with a vengeance, using a familiar old pen while writing a brand new signature. With original member Steve Lynch on guitar, joined by new members guitarist Simon Daniels at the mic and Mark Veland on drums, it's clear that they're ready to take on the world, and the world is more than ready to let them. Today, I welcome original Autograph bassist Mr. Randy Rand of RockGasms for a walk down memory lane. He'll also be answering questions submitted by fans, and so without further ado, I welcome Randy Rand to the show. Welcome, Randy. Thanks for joining me today. How are you doing?
Doing good, Jen. How you doing?
Do you want the long answer to that, or should I just say okay?
I think okay be good.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty over here due to aliens, but we're not going to get into that right now. I want to start off by saying that for a band that's just now reformed and hasn't put anything new out in a little over 10 years, it's really floored me just to see how involved and supportive your fan base has been. I mean, any post you've made on your Facebook page alone easily gets hundreds of likes, along with a long list of encouraging comments to follow. How does it feel knowing that Autograph has been welcomed back so warmly by the public? And were you surprised by the overwhelming response?
Yes, we were. I've been out of it pretty much for like almost 25 years. I haven't really played that much. And when we were playing some of these gigs, there's 18-year-old kids singing every word to every song we were playing. And I don't know if anyone would know what that feels like, but it's amazing to come back and have that kind of fan base. It's crazy cool.
When I posted about our upcoming interview, there was a small fraction of people who had said to me, oh, that band, they're one-hit wonders. And I'm sure you know which song I'm referring to because we opened with it. Have you been accused of being a one-hit wonder band before? And if so, what's your response when you hear comments like that?
You know what? At least we had one hit. That's we had a lot of songs that got airplay, but yeah, Turn Up the Radio was a hit. It was a pretty big hit. In fact, me and Plunkett did one-hit wonders on VH1. It was fun because at least we got to go and do that.
Some people get no hits, and then there's other people that we just want to smack all day. But that's a whole other story, Randy.
Yes, Jen, I know.
Now, one fan wanted to know if you found it difficult to overcome the stigma of being known best for one song and how that may have affected your psyche down the road. It didn't have any impact on you, basically? You just kind of embraced it and ran with it?
Yeah, it's like, honestly, when you get into this business, deep down inside, you hope you have a hit. But when it happens, you're just as surprised as everybody else is. And so you run with it. It's an amazing thing that you start a song and everybody's hands go in the air. There's just nothing better than that. And it just comes from that little room you were writing in that one day. And, you're just jamming around and all of a sudden the song's done in like 45 minutes. And now you got people still singing it all these years later. What else can you say about that except amazing?
Well, I think you just explained very easily the premise of my whole show. That's why it's called RockGasms. It should make you feel that way. Hands in the air, or maybe in some cases legs, but again, we're not going to go there tonight. Do you feel it's hard to maintain the same level of success in this music industry for decades? Is there a certain formula or key to holding on to the public's attention to keep the machine going and the fans engaged?
It's a lot of it's luck. And if the audience is engaged, they're engaged. You can't force them to be engaged. You can't force them to like you. The audience is everything. It's like we are just artists. We do what's in our souls. We do what's in our fingers and in our heads. Trust me, we're just as surprised as anyone is. And it's a wonderful feeling.
Well, I happen to know something that you did back in the day that kept the fans going. In fact, you've even said this was one of your favorite songs to open every concert with. So from their 1984 album titled Sign In Please, here's Autograph diving off the board and going into the deep end. What do you think the new version of Autograph brings to the table in 2015 that may surprise fans?
What it is me and Steve Lynch, we were friends forever. And me and him always wanted to do a little bit heavier. We still like big choruses. We still like writing pop rock stuff. We just really like it. But we wanted a heavier edge of guitar. And one of the things we said when we met together at the NAMM show at 2011, that's the first time we saw each other in almost 20 years. We said, if we ever start playing again, no keyboards. It's going to be lots of guitars. And then Simon comes along and he plays guitar like an insane man. He plays like Malcolm Young. He's unbelievable. Good. Not only is he a good singer, he's a great guitar player. So it's heavier and funner.
Funner, huh?
Yeah, it's a new word I just made up.
That's all right. I get words on the show all the time. It's totally fine. Like Shenanigizer and things like that. But
Shenanigizer is wonderful.
I kind of get those vibes coming off of you, so we can just keep shenanigizing together if you'd like.
Oh, I've been shenanigized. Yes, I have.
Well, you can put Randy through the test and see what a shenanigizer he might be on stage, because they are starting their concert on April 17th when you kick off your tour at the Diesel Concert Lounge in Chesterfield, Michigan. Now, you're looking for 5 concert dates so far, but you're picking up more along the way, correct?
It always happens this way. At the beginning of the year, your booker puts you out, and you don't get any answers back till the end of February. So we got 5 now and a whole bunch more coming up. I can't announce them because I don't know what they are yet. Yeah.
How nostalgic is it for you when you're performing on stage now? Do you get flashbacks to the good old days? Does it feel like deja vu or Groundhog's Day all over for you?
No, because I really don't remember much of what happened. And I'm being honest with you. It was drugs and alcohol, and Autograph came out of the blue. I just got off tour with Lita Ford, and I just jumped on tour with Autograph. We never even played a gig until we played in front of 15,000 people with Van Halen. And so that set the tone. It was like alcohol, drugs, 15,000 people every night for like 5 years. And now that I'm on stage, I actually know what I'm doing. It's kind of interesting.
So you're seeing it kind of for the first time through fresh eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I really appreciate what we had done back in those days. But now with all this new talent, and especially with a young drummer, which I love, it's really fun to like revisit these songs again and just play them from the heart and through the body instead of and through the mind so much.
Right. Well, you were just talking about the good old days, and that ties into the next question I had from another one of your fans. He wanted to know if, given that you all formed in Pasadena, California during the era of Van Halen and Quiet Riot, if you wouldn't mind describing the time and place in music history. Lots of history going on there.
Oh, they were all our friends, especially me and Steve Plunkett. We all grew up together in the 70s, all of us did. And we played in and out of each other's bands, and they opened up for us, and we opened up for them, especially in the Wolfgang days. Actually, when Autograph came around, we had nothing to do with Sunset Strip or anything anymore. We were just old members of that tribe that got together and went out and became Autograph.
Fun times indeed, so... Hand in hand probably with the whole partying scene, I would assume.
Yeah, well, that began in the early 70s and didn't end until the 90s. It just really didn't. Right. It was insane.
And for some, it still hasn't ended. Let's just be honest about that.
True, very true. It's a business where it's okay if you do that. It really is.
You know, I hadn't planned on really asking you this question, but you did bring it up a little bit earlier in saying that a lot of what happened in the past was a bit of a haze or a fog for you. I have not been someone who's ever partaken, if that's a word. See, we're making up words here today.
That's good.
On drugs or alcohol. So I often wondered how you're able to function and go out there night after night dealing with addiction issues, or maybe you're not an addict, but being on something, a controlled substance. How do you handle that?
Because you were that way all the time. It wasn't like you got up for the show. You were that in the morning. You were that in the afternoon. You were that at night. So you learned the songs that way. You wrote the songs that way. You played the songs that way.
Is that kind of what propelled you through the whole thing, too, to just get the energy going and the demands of the public and just your grueling schedules and whatnot?
Yeah, well, even back in the old days, all of the bands played probably 6 days a week. And, yeah, it got insane after a while. You never knew what city you were in. You didn't know if you were playing 2 sets, if you were doing opening up an act, or you were closing, if you're headlining. It's like every day was a different story. And then, of course, my favorite thing was doing a Japanese interview at 4 a.m. when I was high as a kite. That wasn't very fun. But, those were the days that we all went through. And now we're all grown up. A lot of us are businessmen, and a lot of us are just really having a great time coming out and playing for real instead of just trying to be rock stars. It's a whole big different thing now.
I'm sure it is. It's like seeing color for the first time if you've been blind.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, that was astute.
Thank you very much, Randy.
You're welcome.
I have my moments, fueled by chocolate, but that's okay. Now,
That's good. That's good.
Maybe being interviewed by somebody for Japanese radio at 4 o'clock in the morning wasn't your favorite thing, but I can name another thing that was. Looking back at your band's catalog, you have been very open in saying that one of your all-time favorite songs to perform is Loud and Clear off the same album from 1987. Now, what is it about the song Loud and Clear that gets you going?
I loved working with Andy Johns, and that was like the first song off our third album that I thought we sounded the way we wanted to sound, and it just it was just in your face rock and roll, and the rest of the stuff was good, but it wasn't in your face. And that one I love playing it live still. I still love listening to it on. I still have vinyl. It's fun.
Me too. I was just discussing with my daughter the other day what an 8-track was and vinyl and even a cassette tape, and her head spun.
I bet. It's like a floppy disk. What?
I know. Well, those are changing times, and I'm sure that you've seen a lot of differences too going on in how you're marketing yourself because they're iTunes and getting things through Amazon and what have you. It's not just the fact of going to around the corner to the record store and getting an album anymore. It's here's a single here, here's an EP. What do you find is the most effective way to market yourself with all the new technology that we're competing with nowadays?
Well, what I think is we are trying to establish this lineup, and I think by putting out one song at a time, maybe every 3 months, and then at the end have 5 or 6 to release an EP. This way, people can get used to who you are instead of like throwing it in people's faces, going, "Oh, you remember the old autograph? Well, here's a new autograph, like us or not." You know what I mean? It's this way, we're trying to get people used to the new lineup and the new writing styles, and that's way different than the old days with the record companies that go, "Look, you sons of guns, you have to put an album out now. You have to. You signed a contract." And so you have to go in and just quickly write songs and stuff. Now we can take our time writing songs. We can make a statement in each one of our songs. So this way we can make an album over a year. You know what I mean? And people will know most of the songs by the time it's done.
You make technical difficulties here. I think right now would be the perfect time to cut to one of your favorite songs from the album of the same name. Here's Autograph with Loud and Clear from 1987. I think I have time to sneak in one more question for you, Randy, and it's actually one I like to ask musicians in particular, which is, what type of world do you think we'd be living in if music ceased to exist?
Oh, music is memory. Music is childhood. Music is what a musician does is we have the ability to say in words what people are feeling. I think without that kind of outlet, people would probably become very withdrawn. And I mean, I don't want to make music that big of a thing, but it's been that way always. I mean, even back in the Beethoven days and stuff, there's a feeling there that calms people. There's a feeling that they're not able to express themselves, but they recognize it when they see it. I don't know how to explain it any better than that. It's just, you're born this way. It's just weird. And I love listening to music too. It soothes me. It calms me down most of the time, or it makes me mad, depending on how bad the band is.
And that's okay, because I think the bottom line there is it's really just, not to sound too cliche here, but it's the soundtrack to our lives, really. You said in a recent interview that you wanted to get a new CD out and, quote, play as much as you can until it's done. When do you think your time is up, or what are the warning signs that would indicate when it's truly over for you? Not to get too grim here.
Oh, if no one comes to see you anymore, or no one downloads your music anymore, then you know you're done. That's okay. I mean, that's fine.
Do you think that's because the fans have changed or the listeners have changed, or because you have changed?
It could be any of those things. It's just how it goes sometimes. It's like sometimes people can ride a wave like this for years and years and years and years, and sometimes it's 1 or 2 years. You just never know. It's just something to do. And it's really fun. I'm having a great time doing this. So I got no expectations or fears about this whole thing. It's fun.
That definitely shows not only in your very diplomatic and patient attitude tonight with me while we were trying to get through some of our technical difficulties, but also just by the way that you projected yourself publicly. Everybody is responding to it, and that's probably the reason why most people are coming back, listening, bringing in new listeners, and you're picking up fans all over the globe. I'm not saying that to suck up. I'm saying it because it's a fact. Music definitely is our lifeblood, and I want to thank you, Randy, for joining me on RockGasms. It's clear to see just how much staying power your band has maintained over the years just by the incredible interaction with your fans all across social media alone, much less the globe. I suspect your newest song, You Are Us, We Are You, may be based on the love and appreciation Autograph fans feel towards you and what you feel towards them. Would that be a fair assessment?
Absolutely. It was actually written for the fans because we're just amazed at how many people came out, and I wanted to see what it was all about. They're excellent. Excellent.
Since we are speaking of your fans, do you have any messages you'd like to leave them with tonight?
Sure. We're going to keep making more music. You guys keep come seeing us, and we're going to be out there as long as you want us out there, my friends. We do this for you, and we do this for us. It's awesome.
Well, very good, because when you get out, hopefully out to the Chicagoland area, I know my butt's definitely going to be right there rocking along with the rest of them. Please feel free when you start your tour and stuff to come back on the show and kind of let us know how it's going.
Oh, anytime, Jen. It's fun, especially if it gets Skype to work better.
well, next time we might be more successful if we send out like peace pipe signs or
whatever.
I don't know, Paul Revere. I'm not really sure at this point what's going to work for us. But in the interim, to keep up on Autograph's latest news, check out their merch stores, videos, snag tickets, and see a complete list of their upcoming tour dates, you can visit their official site online at autographband.com, as well as on Facebook at /autographband. Closing us out with a song that marks a brand new chapter in their book, here's Autograph with You Are Us, We Are You. It's also available through iTunes, so if you haven't gotten it already, people, go grab it. Great stuff from Autograph, and I'm sure I'm not alone when I say I'm looking forward to hearing your next release. So turn up your radio. It's time for a new anthem.
Thank you very much, doll.